Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer. Welcome back to Farming Simulator 2017, and welcome back to Northstone Farm. So I skipped ahead time a little bit. It's the 7th day of spring, and the reason I did that is we need to get our corn planted. So, corn is going in field 21. You know we had that big, complex, beautiful drill, right? That we couldn't quite get working. It was sliding all over the place. I turned off some of the physics mods that I'm using, specifically dirt control, I want to say. Didn't work any better. So I went ahead and sold it, and I got the 4.5 meter Cavernaland corn seeder, corn planter. That's back at the farm. We're going to use that to plant field 21. I also, while you were away, I also put a second layer of fertilizer on fields 10 and field 7. These are our grass fields, right? And as you can see, I got the weeder. And I'll be real with you, I've never worked with a weeder before, ever. In all the time that this game has been out, I have never used a weeder a single time. I really have no idea what it does. So we're going to give it a go. We're going to see what it does. And it's Sapphire, so you know what we're doing, trying to stick with the same brand. And then I also, you may have seen behind us, I got a loading wagon. I got the Mengele. Now this is not the classic Mengele that overloads if you go too fast and you have to get out and pull the grass out with your hand. This isn't that one, but this one does have manual blades. You have to put blades in it, and it does have silage additive. And the blades and the additive are back at the farm. And of course we need the loading wagon because we got a John Deere trailing mower and conditioner. So we're going to use that. The grass hasn't grown into second growth stage yet. It's still first, I believe. Yeah, still first growth stage. It's got fertilizer on it, so when it goes to third, which will probably be the first day of summer, then we'll put our final layer of fertilizer on it. Then we'll mow it, then we'll pick it up. But I wanted to get this stuff now because I just wanted to get it now. And we'll bring it back. I'll do it off camera, but we'll bring it back off the store property, get it out of their way. So what I'm going to do is drive this back to the farm, right? We're going to park the 7810 with the weeder on it. We're going to hop in the 6R that has the Cavernaland on it. We're going to get that filled up with corn and fertilizer. We're going to take it over to field 21, get it started on a worker, and then I'm going to hop back in this thing and see if we can figure out how to weed. If I can figure out how to weed, then you'll be seeing this episode. If I can't figure out how to weed, then I'm going to go back to a save game. Then I'm going to go back to a save game. And you will never see this weeder. You'll never see it. I feel like there's a reason that I've never used them, and I don't know if it's because they don't work well, or if it's because I can't figure out how to use them. I don't remember. I want to say, I mean, I know I used one once when they first came out, and what's tricky is, well, I'll show you when we get all parked up here. I feel like the problem that I have with it is I don't really understand what it does. It's a weeder, but it counts as a layer of fertilization, basically. And that's cool, you know, that's a cool thing. But like right now, if you look up in Glance, it's saying that this has 0% grass in it. What the hell does that mean? And I'm told that you can use it to plant grass or plant OSR. OSR in this case is not oilseed rape, it's oilseed radish, I want to say. Yeah. Oh yeah, why aren't we driving in cab? We always drive in cab. Right, let's, I think the first field I want to do is this potato field down here. So why don't we park this at the entrance to the potato field, so it's out of the way, and then we'll go hop in the 6R. So this is going right in here. Yeah, I feel like I just never got the knack to using the weeder. Right. Okay, you wait here. Now, if all it's going to do is apply a layer of fertilizer, I mean, well, it won't apply a layer of fertilizer. It will weed the field. I'm making air quotes when I say that. We're going to weed the field, but it just counts as a layer of fertilizer. If that's all it's going to do anyway and we can't get it working, then we'll just grab the broadcast spreader and go fertilize those fields. We've got the row crop tires on anyway, so we'll just do that and call it good. And that'll give us back, I think that thing was 29 grand, and we're broke. We had to borrow 50K. There we go. So we fill this thing full of corn, and it does fertilize as well. See if we can get out of here without banging into anything, which I have a terrible habit of doing. Alright. There's our fertilizer. And I guess I just back up. I was going to go around out onto the farm road and then back in, but I guess we can just back right up here. Okay, cool. So I'm also curious. I assume, because the Amazon drill that we have, our Amazon sewing machine, because that worked fine, I assume this one will too, and it was just that, I want to say Moschio, that super fancy pants drill that we had. I want to think it was just that one that wasn't working well. But that thing was always kind of problematic. Right, so this is field 21, is it not? It is. We are going to plant corn, are we not? We are. So let us do this. We're going to do fertilizing and seeding. Field 21. 4.5 meter. Finish here. We're going to do, we'll do 2 headlands. This thing is fairly compact. Like so, like so. Generate a course. Speed limits are good. Good. No offset. First waypoint. Show me the first waypoint. I believe it is up here. And like always, we will watch a little bit just to make sure everything is operating properly. And we are right up next to the hedgerows here. No problem. No problem. But we are going to have to back up into the hedge a little bit, I think, because if you're looking at where the headlands are, the headlands look like they're going to be out in the bushes. We'll hope that doesn't happen. Okay, start course at first waypoint. Let's turn that off. Bridge markers are deactivated. Okay, that thing's opening up. Jeezy Pete's, another transformer. Is that it? It's going pretty fast. I feel like it's going a little too fast. Let's, right about now, let's slow things down a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. Right, I'm going to mute because I got a cough. Be right back. Better. Right, and let's see how this thing does going uphill. It's not pulling the back wheels off the ground and skating all around like that other one was. And it's, when I say that, it's a shame because it's a beautiful mod, and I would love to use it. And I love any mod that has a pipe to the front tank. And as I've read about that on some of the forums, what I've read people saying is Giants couldn't do it because there are just too many different kinds of tractors, and there would have been too many different places they had to put the pipe. And I think, yeah, I kind of get that, but there's not that many tractors. And of course, it would have been all screwy on mod tractors. But for base game tractors, it would have been fine. There's not that many of them, and I'm guessing... Wait a minute. I told you not to do that. Deactivate. There you go. And are we using fertilizer and seed? Yep, we're using both. Okay, cool. There aren't that many base game tractors, and I feel like even within the base game tractors, a lot of them are approximately the same size and shape, right? So I feel like Giants could have maybe come up with 6 or 8 different approximate models of like pipe location, and then just per tractor, you know, it's going to be one of those 6 approximate, and it's like extra small, small, medium, large, extra large, and other, or whatever, however it worked out. But then they just put the pipe in the approximate location that it needs to be for that tractor to accommodate it. And there could have been pipes, particularly on the Coon Pack, which was super disappointing because it has, like, it's got the ends. Both ends of it have, like, the tank and the drill have the connection. There's just nothing between them, and it looks ridiculous. So I was disappointed they didn't do that. Now, here's something else that's weird about this thing. When we look in the store under weeders, if I can find it, there it is. When we look at this thing, right, down in the middle row there, in the middle of the middle row, between 7 miles per hour and the seeding feature for oilseed radish and grass, that says it's fertilizer, right? Does it take fertilizer? Do we put fertilizer in it? I don't know. Let's see if we do. Let's back over to, and if you know all about these things and you're wondering like why I'm being such a Melvin right now, no reason. I'm just being a Melvin. I've never really sorted out the weeder. Right. So we go back this way. I don't think you put fertilizer in this. I think the weeding itself counts as fertilization, and that's why it has that icon. But I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. We're going to find out together, unless you already know, and then I'm going to find out together, I guess. Right. No. Nope. Okay, so we can put grass or oilseed radish in it, but we cannot put fertilizer in it. Let's go hit this potato field and see if it counts. With nothing in it, let's see if it counts. We do have the row crop tires on. Okay. Now we do have crop destruction on, so I'm curious if this is going to like rip out all our little potato buds. That would be, well, that would be terrible, I guess. But we'll see. If it works, I'm just going to do this one field, and then I'm going to hop in the 7R and drive down and get the, are we tearing up our field? We're not. Drive down and get the mower that we just bought. Right. Do I have to turn this thing on? I do not. Easy enough. And we're weeding. Okay. It's changing color, right? Okay. So we're weeding. So we can use this thing to plant grass or oilseed radish, or we can just run it across a field to weed it. Fantastic, man. That's fascinating. I'm going to do a couple laps here just so we can see it on the map, and then I'm going to take a peek to confirm that we are fertilizing. But we have to be, right? It's changing the color. We have to be. And I will do, because I've got to do the sunflower fields. I've got to do the barley field, and I've got to do the canola field. I'll do those off camera because that'll be pretty boring. And I can tell you that when I was fertilizing the grass fields, the grass texture on this map is, at least in growth stage 1, it is like impossible to see what you fertilized. It's sort of down under the leafy bits, and it's next to impossible to see where you've been. I probably went back and forth across that field, across areas that I had already done. I probably did it, I don't know, a dozen times, just to make sure I had everything. But it's a tricky texture. I think GPS might be the way to go, but I feel weird about using GPS on fields this small on a farm this small. I feel like that would be, like, you could, obviously you could, but I just feel like it would be overkill. You know, it's like taking a truck to the grocery store to get a bag of chips and a soda. Right. We'll knock this field out. And hopefully this won't take too long. And you know, it's weird because obviously I never want to make a video that's boring, but at the same time I'm like, you know, sometimes when I do this stuff I'm like, is this as fascinating and relaxing for you to watch as it is for me to watch? Because to this day, I still love watching farm videos on YouTube, real and farm simulator. So to me, like watching somebody weed a field like this, I'd be like, no man, take your time, don't time lapse, I want to see it all. So I don't know if you're like that, or if that's just me, but I find this very relaxing. And I understand that we would, like, if I've just been turning without lifting this thing at the end of the rows. I've just been turning, and I understand that with a real weeder I would need to be lined up exactly in the tram lines, and I would need to go exactly down the rows. I wouldn't be able to turn. I get it. I'm not 100% realistic. I try to be awfully realistic, but I understand that from time to time I get a little lazy. I was going to say efficient, but no, man, it's lazy. Well, that's disappointing about that other drill that we never got working. But you know what? I've seen a lot of videos and a lot of threads of people like, man, how do you use this thing? Because I can't get it working. So it's a fantastic mod. I feel like it's just too much. Like, there's just too much going on there. And fortunately, the system that I'm on right now can handle that and, you know, render a decent frame rate. But I know my old system, anytime I bought that, I would drop to like 10 FPS. You know, just absolutely wasn't having it. So it's a good mod, but for me, it's always been problematic one way or the other. And now on this map, we just couldn't get it working. So no big deal. I feel bad that I think we paid for the combo. I think we paid about 40 grand new, and when we sold it we got about 20 grand. So I felt bad about that because we could really use 20,000 right now. But you know, what are you gonna do? It's just a fake farm anyway. It's just a game. Nobody cares. So I will get this parked up. And, well, in fact, you know what? I'm not going to park it up. Well, I am going to park it up, but I'm not going to park it up at the farm because we're so close. I'm going to take it right next door to field 9, park it there, and then off camera I will weed fields 9, fields 1, fields 9, 1, and 3, and then we'll have all of our potato fields will be, now will this be 3 or will this be 2? This will be 2. It'll be 2 in field 9. It'll be 3 in field... Moment, please. I'll say this in a way that makes sense. It will be 2 in field 17 where we are now. It will be 3 in fields 9, 1, and 3 because, remember, we put a load of fertilizer down. Then we seeded them. And our potato seed are fertilizers, so now they have 2 at this moment, and then when we go through and weed, that'll be 3. Okay. Perfect. So that means we'll only need to come back and run the broadcast spreader over field 17. Okay. That works. These pine trees here on our right, these are beautiful pine trees. The pine trees by the farm road, not quite so beautiful. I'll show you when we run past them. And I've seen a trick where where map makers basically take one of those big pine trees, like on our right now, they take one of those big pine trees, and they just, when they place it, they just push it down. Did I hit it? Yeah, I hit it. Damn it. They just push it like down through the terrain plane or the water plane or whatever it is. But basically they just push it in so that only the top of it is coming out. So if you take a 40-foot tree and you put 30 feet of it underground, they do it, yeah. Right? If you take that whole tree and then slide it down so just the top of it is poking out, then that's a little tree. And instead we have these little trees here. And I got to tell you, man, between that tree and that tree, it's a good map, and it's obviously got a lot of time and effort put into it. So I would think that the map maker did that for a specific reason, because, you know, it's not like they just, oh, close enough, particularly right down here on the road. I mean, I'm not going to say those are terrible or anything. Eye roll. So, yeah. So I'm curious why they didn't do that. And I guess I could do that, but I don't really want to do that. Let's see how we're doing over here. Making pretty good time. We're going to run out of corn. It says we still got another 25 minutes. Beautiful. Right. So now, I need to put this thing away somewhere too. This has been sitting out here for all of spring. You know, it's weird to think that it's been, what, 5 episodes, 6 episodes, but it represents a couple months of real time. And man, why do I keep falling out of my tractor? You know, I'm asking rhetorically, but the reason I keep falling out of my tractor is because my start engine button is a key combo, and one of the keys that it shares is the hop in and out button. And the buttons on this Razer gamepad are so sensitive. If you just, I feel like if I don't release them at exactly the right time, it reads one of my buttons as being still down, even though it's not. And then it counts that as the next action. Like, I hit the combo, and that starts the engine, and then it senses me tapping the X button again, and it's like, oh, you want to get out? But all I've done is take my thumb off it a little more slowly than I release the shoulder button. It's a very sensitive controller is what I'm saying. So the Cavern one we got, that's 4.5 meters, but it folds up to travel. I think we're kind of getting our equipment down as small as we wanted it, because that other drill was pretty big. I'm trying to think what else we have that might be too big. Nothing really. Everything else folds up pretty small. I'm picturing the other equipment that we have on the farm. That potato planter, or potato harvester, that's it. That potato harvester is massive. I'm curious if we're even going to be able to get that through gates and into fields. But I guess we'll find out in a few days here. So we'll get this thing in here. Oh, I did one other thing too. Let me show you this. So if you look directly ahead of us there, on the right at about 1 o'clock, I did install the buyable slurry mod. And the reason I did that is, if we're going to get, our pigs are going to give us slurry and manure, and we're going to spread that as fertilizer. We'll do that next season. But in the meantime, you know, we've got that tiny little broadcast spreader, which is kind of a pain in the butt. It works, but it's kind of a pain in the butt. And I was thinking, as we prep fields this fall after we harvest, wouldn't it be nice if we could start using... Did I miss it? Am I that far off? Would it be nice if we could start using some of our pig muck, right? There it is. Wouldn't it be nice if we could start using some of our pig muck? And the answer is, of course it would. But we don't have that much of it. So to make it more efficient to buy... Ooh, it's actually pretty big. Jeez. To make it more efficient to buy a muck spreader this season, since we don't have that much muck, or slurry, I guess, would be the more appropriate one. Since we don't have that much slurry to spread, let's fix it so we can buy slurry. And I don't even know if this thing's going to fit down our farm road. Interesting. Okay. I thought this thing was smaller. I don't think I'm caught on the truck. I think I'm caught on the hedge. But now I gotta get out of the hedge and hope I don't snag the truck. Oh, okay. Did that make sense, what I just said? I think it did. I got this thing because it was small, but it's not that small. And I'm really curious if we'll be able to make it down here, because the road that we just came off of, we could put the left wheel in the hedge, but down here we're going to get to that fence, and we can't put the left wheel in the fence. Gotta go third person. Oh, tight. Yep, bigger than I thought. Story of my life. Pretty though. I'm going to take it down to... Grass field is in growth stage 1, so we can drive on it without crushing anything. So I am going to pull this thing out into the grass field and unfold it. I'm curious what it looks like. Oh, this is not quite mental, but it's close. Right, made it. Sort of. And then the only other thing we have down there is the loading wagon I just got. And I already brought the silage additive and the package of blades to the farm. Those are already here, so we'll be able to install those before we use it. And it may, I've never used it before, so it may have some already installed. Or we may need to load it up, at least with silage additive. The blades, like, it may have blades in it and we just need to replace them when they wear out, or it may need blades too, but it'll definitely need silage. Okay, let's unfold this thing, see what it looks like. Looks like nothing. So, does not unfold, so we just do this. Yep. Ooh! Yep. Pretend you didn't hear how happy I just got right there. Okay. I'm going to... Well, I'm going to put the brake on so we don't drift away. Very nice. Okay. I'm pleased with that. And I think that's the first one I've ever seen that spins to both sides. That is pretty dope. And it does make a row. I don't think you can do a wide spread on this. Let's take another look. No. I'm only seeing the one control. Okay, no worries. We're not making hay at the moment. We're just gathering up to take over to the BGA, so we don't need to make a wide swath at the moment. Let me see how this thing is doing. Oh, just about to run out of corn. So, perfect. Might be time to call it an episode. So what did we do today? We brought our weeder back. We got started planting corn. We figured out how to use our weeder, and we brought our mower back. Let's call it an episode. I think that's about right. No need to push the pace, as it were. Right. I'm going to come back over here and look at this thing. And this is going to be my thumbnail to end the video. Beautiful. Folks, thanks for stopping back to check out the Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Farming Simulator 2017. And we'll see you next time. Take care now.